Season 8 News and Leaks. Episode 1 written by Dave Hill. Episode 2 written by Brian Cogman. The remaining 4 episodes by Benioff and Weiss. Directors, Miguel Sapochnik, possibly 3 episodes. David Nutter. The final episode 6 to be directed by Benioff and Weiss. Budget $15 million per episode. Liam Cunningham confirms he has received the Season 8 script for Game of Thrones at New York Comic Con. October 6, 2017. Liam Cunningham stated read-through will be on Sunday 8th for 3 episodes and Monday 9th for 3 episodes. Stated filming will start either the 16th or 19th. Also stated he is getting the script on Monday or Tuesday next week since vid was Saturday 30th Sept. He should have received scripts on the 2nd or 3rd October. Irish Thrones report security screens, blocking all views, around Winterfell set Moneyglass. October 4, 2017. Maisie Williams arrived in Ballymena, Northern Ireland. Filming may be about to commence. September 29, 2017. I find the leak from Reddit. It can be true or not, don't take it seriously. Here goes. The first scene of the season is Bran seeing a vision of the Night King riding Viserion. This totally shakes Bran and it's the first time he reacts emotionally to something. He tells Arya and Sansa about this. And Sansa decides to have a meeting with all the Northern Lords in the Great Hall who don't believe them at first, but then Sansa reminds them that Bran's visions are truth and it was Bran's visions who helped them see Littlefinger for what he is, and the Northern Lords reluctantly begin to agree. Dany and Jon arrive in Winterfell mid-episode 1. The Northern Lords dislike Dany immediately, not only because she's a foreign invader but because they blame her for the Night King having Viserion. But Jon tells them to sfu and sit down, telling them that Dany is a hero who put her life on risk to rescue him and his men north of the Wall. That she sacrificed her child for them, etc. etc. Jon, Sam have a pretty cute reunion, although Sam is awkward and shoots weird glances when seeing him and Dany together for obvious reasons. Jon/Bran's reunion is tense as Dany is also present in their scene together. Bran is so troubled by the Night King having a dragon that he doesn't tell Jon about his parentage yet. Dany asks Bran what else he knows, but Bran just says that they need her now more than ever with the Wall no longer to protect them. Later on, when Jon, Dany finally get a chance to be alone in Winterfell, Dany cries in Jon's arms about what the Night King has done to Viserion. Jon comforts Dany by hugging her tighter, kissing her tears and kissing her all over her face. Jon, Arya have a pretty emotional reunion scene and Jon blurts out to Arya that seeing her feels sweeter than coming back to life. Arya likes Dany immediately because she reminds her of Visenya. Sansa not so much at first, but over a couple of episodes she warms to Dany too as she sees Dany genuinely cares about humanity. In King's Landing, Euron and Cersei have a private scene before the Golden Company arrive. Euron asks Cersei how Cersei could have just let Jaime go without punishing him, but Cersei simply shields her eyes away from Euron and says that Jaime going to Dany makes no difference. If your dragons aren't enough for defeating the WWs, then a one-handed man is nothing. Euron tries to put the moves on Cersei then, but Cersei rebuffs him and says they need to win a war first before they feed Night King of any of that. The arrival of the Golden Company in King's Landing is supposed to a pretty grand scene. Will probably be the most shocking scene too, as Draenys makes a comeback and is the leader of the Golden Company. When Cersei asks him how she could trust him as Qyburn has informed her that he was Dany's lover. Drew says he's motivated by survival, that he doesn't just want to sit back in Meereen while the entire world is at war, and the Golden Company gave him purpose after Dany left him. Jaime arrives in Winterfell at the end of episode 1. It's a pretty dramatic scene as her arrives in the middle of a blizzard and pledges his sword to Dany, telling her that Cersei betrayed them, that she is too hateful to help others. The Winterfell location is akin to the Dragonstone location of Season 8. Expects lots of dialogue scenes with major characters to take place here. Now unfortunately I only know a little bit more for the rest of the season. Episode 1 is the one that I have the most details about, the rest not as much. But I do know these things. The last scene of episode 2 is Bran and Sam telling Jon about his parentage. Over the next couple of episodes this drives Jon into angst mode, but he ends up applying the same ideology to him. See Littlefingers that he said to Theon in the season 7 finale. That he's both a Stark and Targaryen. But he still seems see Littlefingers as Ned's son above all. And wants to be Jon Stark, not Aegon Targaryen. As well as he is not wrong to love Dany with all that she's done for him. Cersei has a miscarriage and it really destroys her. She ends up having sex with Drio in her misery, and when Euron finds out he finally realizes that there was never any truth to Cersei wanting to marry him. He tries to fuck Cersei over, but it doesn't go anywhere as Theon ends up coming for him. Theon does rescue Yara, but then Euron ends up killing Yara in a sneak attack, which leads Theon to finally kill Euron. Jorah ends up killing Drio in battle. Brienne dies by saving Jaime from a White Walker. She dies in Jaime's arms as Jaime tells her he loves her and kisses her. Melisandre ends up making up for Cersei's betrayal but bringing an army from Volantis. She ends up sacrificing her Littlefingers to save Jon and Dany during the Great War. But instead of dying she becomes her old Littlefingers. She dies in bed with Davos right beside her. Another theory from Reddit. Here goes. Episode 1, Essos, Golden Company mercenaries receive Euron. He says he will marry Daenerys Targaryen. The Golden Company leader owns the Blackfire sword. Golden Company plus Euron sails to King's Landing. Episode 2, King's Landing. Euron plus Golden Company loot King's Landing and take the Iron Throne. Cersei sends a raven to Jaime for help. Then she is trapped in the Euron room. King's room. Winterfell. Jon tells Sam that he is in love with his aunt. The survivors of the castles that were destroyed arrive in Winterfell. Sansa is worried about the supply. Brienne trains Jaime, they are getting closer. Varys suspect Tyrion loyalty after Cersei betrayal. Jon tells Daenerys that he is the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna. There is a tense discussion. A large hut is built for the Dothraki. They are not enduring the cold. Daenerys is moved. Jon tells Arya to protect all the women and children in the Winterfell crypts. There is a dialogue between Gendry and Arya. She is arrogant. Ruler army arrives in Winterfell. Bran tells everyone that the Night King is near Winterfell. Jaime receives the crow from Cersei. He burns the letter and goes to the battlefield. Long night. The Dothraki cannot fight and are annihilated. Jaime is killed by a White Walker. He dies in the arms of Brienne. She dies next. Jon rides on Rhaegal and manages to break the ice spears that kills dragons. Clegane, Jon, Beric and Jorah manage to kill all with walkers. Only the Night King remains. Viserion kills Rhaegal. Jon is not at this moment. He is on the battlefield. There are many deaths. Tormund, Brienne, Jaime, Melisandre, Varys, Grey Worm, Jorah. Before Daenerys mount on Drogon, Jon declares to Daenerys. They exchange words of love. Much of the supply are burned by Viserion. Daenerys plus Drogon kill Viserion. Night King reanimate all army Dothraki plus all that died in the long night. Game of Thrones Season 8 filming locations give us clues for final episodes. While fans are still decompressing from last season of Game of Thrones, over on the production side, the wheels are already grinding along for the next one. Since the show was greenlit in 2010, it's been a year-round schedule, with the next season readying for filming as soon as the last one finished airing. While the actors won't be showing up until October, the crew is already on the ground, prepping Game of Thrones Season 8 filming locations. While we don't know exactly where the show will turn up in Spain yet, the country where King's Landing, Dragonstone and other more southern locales are primarily filmed, we've got word of at least 2 major locations in Ireland, which is used for places more north in Westeros. Even before the season ended, word was that crew have been seen in Moneyglass, where the Winterfell set is still sitting, waiting to be used for the final stretch of episodes. That the show will return to Winterfell for the final stretch is not a spoiler. Jon and Dany were on their way there by boat in the finale, while Sam and Bran are awaiting them to turn their lives upside down when they arrive. But the new locale that was reported on Twitter today is a bit of a surprise. Turn back if you don't want to know. As reported by the Irish Thrones Twitter account, crews have been seen in Banbridge and Corbett, which were last used in Season 6. There's still a set sitting up there too, which the show did not take down, despite not using it in Season 7. That can only suggest one thing: they left it for Season 8, and next season we'll be heading to. That's right, Riverrun. The last time we were at Riverrun, Jaime Lannister convinced Edmure Tully to walk in and then turn into a Trojan horse and let the Lannister forces in behind him to break the siege. For his betrayal of house, family, and Uncle Sir Brynden the Blackfish, Walder Frey the Night King'd him by throwing him back into the dungeons. One of the unfinished threads when Arya walked out of the Twins, having murdered every Frey relation in it, was if she stopped by said dungeons to release Edmure, or if she left him to rot. If the show really is filming at Riverrun in this final season, it looks like we'll get to find out how the last of the Twins fared. This could also be a major clue in the coming issue of who gets to sit on the Iron Throne once Jon Snow's identity gets out. With Jon now a Targaryen, that's going to leave Sansa in charge of the North. The Twins are related to her via her mother. With the weak warden like Edmure in charge, it would be pretty simple for Sansa and Arya to talk him into following the North's leading supporting Jon, both in the fight against the Night King and for the throne when the fight is over.